I want to continue with Haas, if you don't mind. I like a little bit of a success story because I think it's good to start off the podcast on a positive. No doubt we'll move into McLaren later on, and there'll be a little bit of a low point, and then we'll try and end with another positive. But Haas, what a brilliant job they've done at the first race of the year. I guess with any team, like I've mentioned, it's always a risk if you out-qualify your car, you're going to go backwards during the race. However, this time it was not the case for the team. Within a couple of corners, Kevin found himself in front of a Mercedes and in front of a Red Bull and behind a Mercedes. And I thought to myself, how long is he going to last in this position? This Red Bull's going to fly past him, and the Mercedes going to just drive off in the distance like we've seen time and time again. But it wasn't the case, Alex. It wasn't the case. We saw some racing. We saw K-Mag in a Haas fight Lewis. Like, he was diving down the inside of some corners. He was trying to go around the outside of turn 4 a couple of times. And then when Lewis finally, like, ever so slightly got away from K-Mag, he was defending from Perez. And we had some great battles with Perez in the opening couple of laps. I thought this was absolutely fantastic. He didn't lose the pace in the Mercedes. He was on the back of Lewis Hamilton for a decent amount of time, just right up until the first lot of pit stops, because Lewis was one of the first drivers. I think he was the first driver to pit this race, so this year. Like I said, he's had some great defensive battles with Sergio Perez and finished the race in an amazing P5. Now, I know both Red Bull drivers retired in the last couple of laps, so that would have put him P7, but that's still a huge win for the Haas F1 team, and you can see it when they celebrate how much it means to them. And there's a warm feeling in my heart when I was watching this, or when I'm talking about it now, seeing a team which has struggled so much over the last couple of years, scoring no points, no success, no positive media whatsoever. And they come away from the first race of the season, finishing in P5. That's incredible. I mean, as for Mick Schumacher, what a great race. Yep, he didn't qualify in the top 10. That's not a problem. This is Mick. It's his second year in Formula One. He's going up against a driver who's been in the sport for a long old time, but admittedly has taken a year out. So Mick was unlucky because the majority of the race, he was actually running in points paying position. However, after a late safety car, he lost a few positions on the restart and then came home in P11 after the retirements. I mean, we've seen the Haas at the back of the grid showing no real pace at all. And yesterday, we're recording this on Monday, everyone. So on Sunday, we saw a glimpse of what could be a very strong season for the American F1 team. And it was only today when I was looking through the constructors' standards. And I know it's the first race of the year. And everyone who's watching this on YouTube, you can see how much I'm smiling. They're sat in third. They're sat in third place, Haas. This is amazing. Incredible stuff. I mean, what more is there to add? Alex, take over from me, because I just go on forever about how good this team have done.
Yeah, I'm not sure them being third in the constructors means anything after one race, but
no, of course it doesn't. But it's just lovely to see, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good that they've started so positively. I think describing it as out qualifying the car, I think, is a bit of a disservice to Haas, really, because that is the pace of the car. I mean,
yeah, of course, yeah.
Can't break the laws of physics. The car can do what the car can do. So it's, that was what the car was capable of. And Magnussen actually got up to P5 right at the beginning. He had a really good start. So it was actually that he lost places to Perez. He got, I seem to recall that he got passed by Perez and then tried to get the move back again. So he was actually battling with Perez then.
Yeah.
And then he lost the place to Russell after locking up in turn 1. So he kind of made his own little mistakes to kind of lose those positions, but then got them back because obviously the Red Bulls both retired. So Magnussen was looking really, really confident out there. It looked like he'd never been away, which was really impressive. Schumacher, I think, has got some work to do, because now he's got a teammate who immediately seems to look right at home. And last year, when he had Mazepin as his teammate, it was probably pretty easy to look like top dog. Whereas here, he might get found out a little bit. Like, a surname does not a great racing driver make. And, no disrespect to him and his family or anything like that, but you've got to actually be able to do it as well. And I think there's a risk that Schumacher might get found out a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see if he's able to do it with Magnussen across the season. I think my money would be on Magnussen being very, very strong, though, based on that first performance alone, because the ability to step into that team after being away with a totally new car he didn't do any testing, did he? No, he was in testing.
He was in
wasn't he?
Bahrain for testing.
He was in
wasn't
Bahrain
in
for testing,
Barcelona.
So, yeah, very, very impressive from Magnussen. So good news for Haas at last.